All right, prop the mic. PTM coming to you live for day 2 of the in-season tournament knockout games. Coming off an awesome night of games. We had a ton of winners. We went 17-3 with our picks yesterday. So really excited to see what tonight has in store. As always, today's podcast is presented by Props.Cash. There's definitely no way we could have gone 17-3 last night without the tools on Props.Cash. So if you think you'd like to have some 17-3 nights yourself, use code PTM at sign up and get 25% off your first month on Props.Cash. How you feeling, Dave? I know you're a little under the weather, but you ready to dive into these two games?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I am a little under the weather, but that performance last night kind of gave me a real adrenaline boost here because that's an amazing accomplishment. And I think we were talking on yesterday's pod about like are these games going to be playoff like, or are they going to be more like regular season games? And I think the question was answered last night. So
100%.
definitely playoff environment, definitely game 7 type environment. Hopefully we see 2 more of those tonight. The lines are definitely lower. The totals are definitely lower in tonight's game. So
Yeah.
we'll maybe see less scoring, but hopefully we get some really good matchups where the overs sail like last night.
It's going to feel weird tomorrow, like going to some meaningless NBA games. Like, I think they need to expand this, and I could see them doing that. Maybe you play everyone in your group 2 times, and I definitely with the how well this in-season tournament has gone and the response it's gotten, I think they could definitely do something to expand it next season. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but at least they like put a ton of games on tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to
Yeah.
be a huge slate because I think pretty much everybody who's not in the tournament is playing, right? So
Yes.
that's another 22 teams. So we should have 10, 11 games tomorrow. So that'll be fun too. But let's focus on tonight. We got 2 games, like Tom said. Let's dive into the first one.
Let's do it.
All right, Knicks at the Bucks. Knicks are 12-7 on the season. Bucks are 14-6 on the season. Bucks are 9-1 at home. So I like to call out when teams have a really significant advantage. And we know the Bucks have always been a good home team. So that stadium will be rocking tonight. They're 4.5-point favorites. Total is 227.5. Real quickly, these two teams did play earlier this season. The Bucks won 110-105, so relatively low scoring game. 215 points scored compared to the 227 total that we have. And the real highlight in that game was Brunson had a monster game. 45 points scored in that game. Josh Hart put up some big stats as well. He put up 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Julius Randle had 12 rebounds, 5 assists, so a lot of complimentary stats there. Mitch Robinson, 12 rebounds, and Grimes had 17 points. That's on the Knicks side. On the Buck side, Giannis had, I would say, kind of a mediocre game for him. 22, 8, and 6. Dame had the big game, 34-4. Middleton, 12, 9, and 4. And then Lopez had 13 points and 8 blocks in that game. So, look out for some defensive stops tonight, maybe from Lopez. All right, so that's that matchup. Tight game. I think we'll see the same tonight. What do you like here in terms of matchups?
All right, for points, we can look at Brunson, obviously, DiVincenzo in a nice matchup quickly, and then on the Bucks side, not a stretch to say Dame and Giannis, both in good spots here. Rebounds, Randall, Josh Hart, Mitch, and Giannis have the best matchups there, and assists, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, Brunson, and Randall. No one from the Bucks really standing out in the assist department here. So let's dive in. I got a few on the Knicks here. Let's start with the guy who's crushed the Bucks the last 2 times they've played, Jalen Brunson. This has been something we've been on. We cashed on who was it? Trae Young, right? Over the weekend. Point guards against Milwaukee have just been crushing. You got very lousy defense from Damian Lillard and whatever it is. So I have Brunson here at 25.5 points. I have a feeling that line has gone up.
Yeah, I
Um,
think you can still get it for 26.5 on DraftKings,
okay.
but even there, it's minus 145. So again,
Yeah.
to our point yesterday, your best bet is to actually lock these things in 2 days in advance because a lot of these lines are moving up quickly.
Yeah, and there's so many eyes on, with just 2 games, there's so many eyes on this, so the market becomes very efficient. Um, I had him at 25 and a half, minus 135 on DK. I think it's probably still good, at 26 and a half. The last 2 times he played Milwaukee at 45 and 44 points. Uh, he cleared this in 4 of his last 5 playoff games. And like I mentioned, point guards against Milwaukee have just been crushing lately. Are you on Brunson?
I am. I'm always scared of anything north of 25 with Brunson, because he
Yeah,
really is
I
like a
know.
24, 25 point guy. But this is one of the better matchups in the league for point guards, like you said. So I think the 26.5 is a home run. I think that's gonna sail. I think you can also look at some alted uplines. So 32 points is plus 220 on FanDuel. You can get that for a pretty good rate, and it's hit at 56% of games where Brunson has played 40 plus minutes. So I was just looking at like his minutes in the playoffs last year. He plays huge minutes in playoff games, so I
Yeah.
expect him to be out on the court almost the entire game.
Didn't he
And
didn't he have a couple games in the playoffs where he played every minute last
yeah,
last postseason? Yeah.
yeah, I think so. So I think he's good for 40 plus. So that's a 56% hit rate, getting 32 points, 33% hit rate, getting 35 points, and a 17% hit rate, getting 40 points. The 40-point mark on FanDuel is plus 1,000. So,
Mm,
and also he's played in 3 games this season with 40 plus minutes, and he's actually cleared 40 points in 2 out of those 3 games. So I think you've got a guy who's cleared 40 points against the opponent twice in a row, and
yeah.
also has really good hit rates. When he plays that many minutes, so I think that's worth a little flyer at plus 1,000. What do you think?
100%. I mean, you have Trey Young just played them. I think it was Saturday. His line was 26 and a half in that game. He finished with 32. I mean, you have guys like Kyle Lowry, who had a line of 9.5, put up 21 points against them late last week. Just a ton of Tyus Jones on a line of 12 and a half, put up 22. Jordan Poole crushed his line. This is just such a juicy matchup. Um, Kyrie Irving with a line of 26 and a half, put up 39 points. So I love Brunson in this spot.
Yeah, I actually failed to mention this stat too, but just going back to a straight line of 26 and a half, he's got a 78% hit rate over the last year and a half, when he plays 40 plus minutes, right? He scored
Hmm.
no less than 23 points in those games. So I think that's clearly the best bet. And I think your next best opportunity to go up is actually at 32 points with that 56% hit rate for plus 220. So that's everything I got on Brunson. I think he's in a great spot tonight.
Yeah. All right. Let's see who's next. Let's excuse me. Let's just stick with Brunson. I had another play on him. I like his rebounds as well. 3.5 rebounds. I got a plus 106 on FanDuel. Don't know if it's come down overnight or not. Um, I see minus 106
Minus
there. So
106, yeah.
okay,
Not too
not
bad.
bad. Still pretty good. Excuse me. He's cleared this line in 10 straight playoff games. Um, he's cleared this line in 4 of his last 6 on 3 days rest, and 3 straight games against the Bucks with 5, 7, and 5 rebounds in his last 3 against the Bucks. Were you
Yeah, and
looking at
that's
the play?
that's it. That's his stats, which is very similar to looking at playoffs, but that's his stats with 40 plus minutes. He's got
Yeah,
83% hit rate. So
yeah,
four rebounds is really not a whole lot when you're on the floor for 40 minutes. So
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think I actually think there's a lot of focus on his scoring. So I think these ancillary stats like rebounding are
Hmm.
probably going to be less efficient and probably a really good play.
Yeah,
So I like that one a lot.
nice. Um, all right. Next up, let's look at RJ. I like RJ's points as well. 16.5, minus 106 on FanDuel. He's also been great against Milwaukee. His last 2 games against Milwaukee, 26 and 20 points.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. On 3 days rest, 6 of his last 7 games on 3 days rest, averaging over 20 points per game when he's got extra rest.
Okay.
Pulling that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. And then I don't know if you remember, he was awesome in the playoffs last year. I think maybe he needs, he likes that little extra juice for these meaningful games. He's cleared in 7 of his last 9 playoff games, averaging 21.2 points in those playoff games. I think you'll like that if you pull it up. Take a look at those.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at
the
that.
playoff filter.
Yep.
I mean, what I will say is he's a better home player than he is away. If you looked at those 3 days rest, he actually cleared in every home game, but he missed in the one away game in that scenario. So, but I do think the playoffs is a really good cut, and there's definitely a mix of home and away in here, and he did
Yeah.
pretty well in both. So, okay, very nice.
All right. What else we got here? All right. So Josh Hart, we put up on X last night. This line has moved a bit. We got it at 5.5 rebounds at minus 111 on FanDuel. I think it was minus 110 on DK. Last night, I think it's into the 6.5 range
Yeah,
now.
you have to pay the best price at 5.5 is minus 148 on Caesars.
Okay. So
Would you take it?
What'd you say?
Would you take it at 6.5 still?
I would. I mentioned in the post last night that I think he's good for 7 or 8 rebounds in this game. If you look at his last 3 games against Milwaukee, 10, 8, and 9. You look at him in the playoffs, 8 of his last 10 in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, and I think if you go back and if they had stats that go back further, he actually, when he even going back to Portland and New Orleans, when he was on Portland and New Orleans, he's cleared this line against Milwaukee in I forget how many straight games, but a lot. What do we have here?
I think the concern about Hart is the fact that he's not starting, right? So he's coming off the bench, but if you look over the last 3 games, his minutes are back up, probably
Yeah,
because he
and it was
made
right. It coincided with him voicing some. I mentioned that in the post. He was expressing some frustration with his role in the offense. Went out and in that game against Charlotte, put up 17 points. Put up another 17 points 2 games later against Toronto. So I think he's probably earned some of that trust back from Tibbs. And this is a spot Tibbs will go to. Tibbs knows what to expect from Josh Hart in a game like this. There's probably no one on this team other than Brunson that Tibbs trusts more than Josh Hart. So he will have the minutes in this game for sure. And you've seen that as it's ticked up over the last 3 games or so.
Yeah, I think Grimes gets the start, but Grimes is only playing maybe like 20-something minutes.
He just can't hit
like
anything. His shooting is terrible, so they
low
can't keep him on
20s.
the
So
floor.
yeah, I could see Hart getting 28 plus minutes. This is his look this season with 28 plus minutes. He's only
Look at that.
In
Guy's
2
an
games.
elite rebounder.
Elite rebounder. Yeah, he really is. He's got like one of those like 6 senses for like finding the boards, kind of
He
like
does. He's a beast out there. Yeah.
Yeah, he really knows how to position himself. So this one should cash. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Josh Hart, 5.5 rebounds.
All right.
All right. What else do you
The
like?
Nick train is not over yet. I got one more Knicks play here, and then we'll move on. Julius over 4.5 assists, minus 120 on
Yes.
DK. Were you on that?
I was on that. I love that.
You want to take it? Go for it.
No, you go.
Okay.
I don't have much of a voice here, so go for
All
it.
right. So if you look at what he's done against Milwaukee, 5 rebounds in each of the last 3 games they've played. He's gone over in 10 of his last 12 games, averaging 6.1 assists per game. Look at that. And then, you have some nice comps at the power forward, big position. Siakam had 7 and 5 in 2 games against Milwaukee this season. Nice comp for Randall. Kuzma 13 and 4. Banchero 5. Bam 5. So lots of nice comps for Julius here to get 5 assists.
Yeah, I like that. I think the only other thing I had that you didn't cover is just the home away. So if you look, these are his away games. He's averaging 5.9 assists on the road, and his home games he's averaging 5.1. So kind of makes sense. I think he tends to like kind of want to shoot the ball a little bit more when he's at home. And then I think this matchup is just not good for him anyway, scoring wise. He'll certainly put up plenty of shots. He could, he could get 15, 16 points. But his line today, if you look, this is somewhat related. So I think it's good to look at what he did scoring wise against the Bucks. 3 out of the last 4 games against the Bucks, he only put up 18 points or less, and his line today is 22. So
yeah, I don't love, he's got Giannis and Lopez there to guard him, whereas Brunson's got Dame, right? So like, and obviously they'll switch and whatnot, but yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense.
I'm gonna guess 5 of Brook Lopez's 8 blocks last game were against Julius Randle. So,
yeah, I think you're right.
So but I think that's important to understand, right? If Randall's not in a good scoring position, he's still gonna have the ball a lot. So
Yeah.
that means he's gonna probably have to kick it out. Somebody's gonna be shooting. Guards, especially, we know are a good matchup, like we just talked about. So
Yeah.
between RJ and between Brunson, I think they'll be scoring off of passes from Randall. So 5 assists is great. Looks like it's creeping up to 5.5. I don't love it as much there, but he does have good hit rates there. He's at 5.9 on the road, so that could also be.
Yeah, you see him get to 8 a lot, though I agree with you. I like it. I like keeping it at 5 here, but yeah, he definitely has some bigger outputs. So he definitely
if you're
can
worried
get
about
there.
the cost, of the 5.5, sorry, the 4.5 assists at this point, that's gone up too pricey for you. Then consider just like throwing, a low number of rebounds in there with it. I think, 6 rebounds, 8 rebounds, something like that for Julius.
Or put it with Brunson 25 points or something like that.
Brunson 25 points. Brunson 3 rebounds, like something like that. So I think there's lots of options to get that to a better place. All right, that was your last pick for the Knicks, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go with one other, which it's like it's my Sam Hauser pick of the day. I like Dante DiVincenzo for 2.5 rebounds. Where did Dante DiVincenzo play most of his career?
Where did he play most of his career? In Milwaukee, yeah.
In Milwaukee, right? So he's coming back home. I do like a couple things. I like one that his minutes have been on the rise. If we go down to his minutes in the last couple games, right? He went from, playing 20-something minutes down to like 16, 14 and back up to 18, 22, 22. So I think he's, I don't think he's going to have huge 28-minute game tonight, but I think he's good for probably 18 to 20 minutes. And I think 3 rebounds is a pretty good spot here. I think he's going to be giving a little extra effort against the old home team. So, yeah, just a more of a gut play on DiVincenzo. And I love
Dante revenge narrative. Let's go. Black Bleach says the same thing. He likes it too. I like it. I was trying to find something on Dante, but glad you did.
All right, Black Bleach is on it. I'm definitely playing it now. So
there we go.
Love this. There we go. He was all over stuff yesterday too. So
yeah.
All right. What do you got? You got anything on the Buck side?
I do.
What do you like?
I'd be remiss if we left out Dame here. He's in a tremendous spot. Point guards who score like in the paint and from 3 have just been like crushing the Knicks this season. LaMelo, prime example, had 32 and 34 against the Knicks. Dame had 30 against the Knicks. So I love his 24.5 points. Has it gone up to 26 now? Can you still get it for 25.5 anyway?
25.5 you can get it. Actually, FanDuel's got a pretty good price at -113 for 25.
Okay. I had 24.5 -135 on DK yesterday. Dame's last 2 games against the Knicks, 30 and 38. He's cleared in 8 of his last 10 overall, 8 of 10 at home this season. And yeah, the point guards against the Knicks, especially, with guys who have this type of game, this is where it's at. Love Dame. A Dame and Brunson 25-point each parlay is also could be a nice spot here if you wanted to do something like that. It just seems like that's where the scoring is going to come from in this game on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. And Dame is very much built like De'Aaron Fox, right? He's like there's a reason why they came up with Dame time, right? Like
Yeah.
when he needs to step up in the big moment, he steps up in the big moment. So I dove into Damian Lillard's quarter splits just like we did on De'Aaron Fox last night. If you weren't following on X, just to recap, we basically said Fox's line looked a little high, but we still liked it at 27.5. But if you wanted to play Fox as a live bet, 38% of his scoring came in the fourth quarter. So in home games. So that line went from 27.5. I saw it as low as 23.5 during the game. So as a live play, you could basically save 4 points. Same thing's going to happen with Dame most likely today. He'll probably come out slow like he usually does. 38% of his scoring is also coming in the fourth quarter in home games this year. So same deal. This 25.5 will likely fall down to 22.5, 21.5. So if you want to get it as a lower line in the middle of the game, do that. Or put half a unit at 25.5 and then hedge your bet a little bit and wait for a live bet and put the other half unit when you can get it potentially lower. Just don't chase it, right? If he comes out and has a good first quarter and that goes up to 27.5, just, leave it and focus on something else. But just to add one more point, against the Knicks, he scored 30 points last time, like you said, Tom. 15 of those points were in the fourth quarter.
Nice. You're getting some love on YouTube here. Someone calling out Sean Deere saying he got Fox at 22.5 last night. Thank you very much. Great call. And the local business boy himself, Gabe Acosta, says live bet Dame at halftime. I think 100% live bet Dame at halftime, like you just said. Loving those picks. Let me just check. Nothing on X here. So, yeah, nice comments, guys.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Hey, if you get any of those lines, just put them into the original post during the game, just to kind of share it with the community.
That's fun.
That will be really helpful just to kind of see what they were. I only checked like 2 or 3 times during the game, but if you see them, put them up on X. That'll be fun to see tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Nothing on Giannis?
No, I was playing, the one I called out, like his points and rebounds look nice. I just, we've been fading rebounds against the Knicks, not the spot to play, right? And I just feel like, just like we said between Randall and Brunson, like this seems like the game for the guards to do their scoring. So I laid off Giannis. Did you have something?
No, what I will say though, I just want to make sure people are clear about this. We were hammering centers versus the Knicks earlier this season. If you look to the beginning of the season, there were like, maybe a handful that had cleared, but it was like a 2-week stretch where nobody could get rebounds against, including Gobert, which we were on, had only 7 rebounds. But what I will say is in the last week, that trend has changed, right? And you've got Mark Williams with 12, Jalen Duren with 12, Pirtle with 12. So something's changed, in terms of the Knicks rebounding against center. So I wouldn't necessarily stay away from this one because of that trend. I think that's
Okay.
changed. I still think it's a little high. I would look maybe for 10 rebounds for Giannis and put that with something else. I think the stat category for him that's probably the best tonight is his assists. Again, very consistent. I think it was at home. He's getting like 5 assists almost every game. Let's look here. Yeah, 5 assists almost every game at home. So I think that's a pretty good one as well. But yeah, I think it's a Dame game. So not going to put too much on Giannis. All right.
Yep. We got a note here from Brandon Wong on X. I think I missed it, but Brunson over 26 points, solid. Yes, we mentioned even a Brunson ladder up to 40 points at plus 1,000 is worth a little sprinkle tonight. So yeah, we're on Brunson big time.
Sorry, my animals are fighting here. I was just throwing something to make them stop. All right, let's keep going. You got anything else in this game?
No, I think that's enough for this game.
All right. let's move on. We got the night game. Suns at the Lakers. Suns are 12-8. Lakers are 12-9. So it should be a nice even matchup. This one is a 1.5-point spread. Lakers are 1.5-point favorites. Same total as the first game, 227.5. These two teams have played twice already this season. First game, Lakers won 100-95. Big scores in that game were Durant, monster game, 39 points. I think both Booker and what's his name?
Beal.
Both Booker and Beal sat out that game. So Durant had 39.
Beal's only played one game all season. So
right. Yeah. So we won't even talk about him.
Yeah.
He was the big scorer. Gordon had 15 as well on the Suns. And on the Lakers side, AD had a monster game, 30 points, 12 rebounds. LeBron, 21, 8, and 9. So almost had a triple-double in that game. Second time they played, Lakers won again, 122-119. So 5 points the first time, 3 points the second time. Durant also had a monster game, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Beal did play in this game. He had 24 points. On the Lakers side, AD had a more modest game, 18 points, 11 rebounds, and LeBron, another monster game, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. I'm hoping we go back to a play that we playoffs last year for the Lakers. So I'm just going to tease that and see if we get back there. I don't know.
I didn't, but you just, I know exactly what you're talking about here. So I like that.
Let's go to the matchups. What do you like?
All right, scoring wise, not breaking any news here. Booker, LeBron, AD, and KD, all in great matchups here. The one guy who is not on that level, who's also in a good matchup, is D'Lo. I think we can look to him. I might have something on him in a minute. Rebounds, Booker, Grayson Allen, Josh Okogie, and Austin Reeves have your best matchups there. Assists, Nurkic, KD, Drew Eubanks, Grayson Allen, and Devin Booker. So I guess, yeah, that's all on the Phoenix side. So nothing really sticking out assist wise on the Lakers side. Where do you want to start?
Start with the Suns.
Start with the Suns. All right. I'm going Booker here. I like his PRA 40.5. It's high. I know it might scare you a little bit. It was minus 115 on FanDuel. He's playing on 2 days rest today. He had 44 PRA in Los Angeles against the Lakers on 2 days rest last season. He's played 4 games in total on 2 days rest since he's been teammates with Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's played. He had 51. The next game he had 18, but he went 2 for 12 from the field in that game. That's just an outlier. Throw it out. Next game on 2 days rest with KD, 65 PRA, and the next one 50 PRA. So when he's got that extra rest, KD is on the floor with him. He's basically cleared this every time, except one game where he was just couldn't hit the side of a barn. He's cleared this in 7 of his last 10 playoff games, averaging 47.3 PRA. And we'll look at some of the comps for him that have played the Lakers recently. SGA, 44. Maxey, 42. Luka, 50. De'Aaron Fox, 49. And 38 in the other games. Almost got there. I think this is he's gonna do it all in this game. Love Booker here.
Yeah, seems good. I mean, he hasn't played a lot this year, so not a lot of data points to go off of. But I do think he, I think Durant's scoring will be down from the previous 2 matchups, right? I do think Durant's gonna have a monster game too, but 39 points and 38 points, that leaves a lot for Booker to consume some of that. So, yeah, I think it's good. All right. What else? What else do you like?
Let's look at let's stay on the Phoenix side here. I like Nurk, 2.5 assists. Pricey at minus 150 on DK, so maybe a leg of a parlay here if you wanted to do that. But in 2 games against the Lakers this season, he had 7 and 3 assists in those 2 games. He's cleared in 7 of his last 8 games on 2 days rest, including all 4 this season. And In those 4 games, he's averaging 5.4 assists per game, doubling
Wow.
his line here. Yeah.
Look at that.
And he's also cleared in 10 of 13 games this season when he plays 26 plus minutes, which I think he should be good for in this game. I think this is a prop that we like here at PTM. We like our big men assists. I think this is he's one of the guys. I think this is a great spot for him. What do you think?
Yeah, look at these. You were just kind of mentioned this, but Şengün 5 assists, Embiid 11 assists against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Who else do we got? Yeah, Jared Allen 3. He's not really known for assisting. Derek Lively 3. Şengün another 5. Sabonis 7. So yeah,
Yeah.
and Nurk
They've
7.
allowed the second most assists to opposing big men this season, assists per minute. Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, going up against AD, that's a tough
Yeah.
tough guy to score on. So same thing as what we were talking about with Randall. He'll have the ball in his hands quite a bit. Um, I actually think Nurk probably has the ball in his hands even more. They just kind of like have him set a high screen and then he rolls similar to Jokic does, kind of gets the ball at
Mm-hmm.
the top of the key a lot and then
Mm-hmm.
distributes. So I haven't watched too many of the games since Booker's been back, but he does seem to be kind of the centerpiece of the offense for getting things moving. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's got 2 of the best scorers in the league on his team. So,
Yeah.
get the ball to Durant. That's like almost an automatic assist. So,
Yeah.
all right, that's good. I also had a play on Nurk. I loved his assist, so I was on that one as well. If you want to try to um, make this a little bit less juicy, you can do 3 assists and 8 or 9 rebounds. That would be my recommendation for a parlay for him. If you look at his rebounds this season, he gets to 8 quite a bit. Let's look at him just for the Lakers in the last 2 games too, right? So he had 9 assists, 9 rebounds in those games. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't. I think 9 rebounds and 3 assists. I think it'll be like something closer to my guess is around like plus 150. So that's another way you can go. Or if you want to be safer, go 8 rebounds, 3 assists, something like that.
Yeah, I also think I don't mind. I don't mind Nurk at 4 assists. On FanDuel it's plus 160. I think you can for sure go there too if you wanted to. How do you feel about that? Is that too
Yeah, I
too
think
high?
so. The one thing I want to check is just like I think this is a very similar situation to Joval last night. We were projecting his minutes to be up 28. We had a data point to look at for last season, which was the playoff game that Joval played in. Nurk
Mm-hmm.
didn't play in a playoff game, so that's hard to
Yeah.
tell. But if you look this season, first of all, this is his rebounds with 28 plus minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his assists. I'm gonna have to reset the filter. Let's look at what he did with 28 plus minutes. That's where you think he'll
We
be,
need
right around.
we need those game outcome filters back here.
Yeah, those were good. So what do you got? 6 games out of 10, right? So 60% hit rate getting to 4 assists when he plays 28
Yeah.
plus minutes. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good play.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What else? Who else do you like on the Phoenix side?
I'm going with Grayson Allen here. Rebounds. Something
I've
we
been t-
talked about over the weekend.
No, not over the weekend, like over the last 4 weeks. I keep texting Tom like, "What do you think about Grayson Allen tonight rebounds?" And then he's like, "Nah, I don't really like that guy. He's inconsistent, like not a favorite."
Maybe it's just a Duke bias. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. But the one game I texted, he had 4 rebounds in the first quarter. So,
Yeah.
uh
Yep.
I
Finished
I
with
actually
9, I think, 8 or 9.
I actually love this play, but I didn't write it down because I knew you were going to shoot it down. So I'm glad you're on it. So go ahead. What do you like about?
You've brought me around to the dark side here. 3.5 rebounds, minus 110 on DK. 4 straight games against the Lakers. He's cleared this line. 9 and 6 in 2 games against the Lakers this season. On 2 days rest this season, 7, 9, and 3. So he just missed in 1, but crushed it in the other 2. And 11 of 18 overall this season, averaging 4.7 rebounds per game. I think this is a great spot for him. He just seems to have a nose for the ball, and you've been on it all season, and you've finally convinced me.
Which is probably a bad thing.
Yeah.
let's see how he does with both of the guys in the lineup. So less, less probably less appealing with both Booker and Durant in the lineup, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good play. Or take it down to 3 rebounds and put it as part of a parlay. So
There you
all
go.
right. Um
Allen, 3 rebounds. Nurk, 3 assists. There you go.
yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, what about KD? You like anything for KD tonight?
I didn't find anything on KD that I loved, so I'm
The
curious to
guy
see
put up
what you got.
39 points, 11 rebounds, and 38 points, 9 rebounds. The last 2 times they've played, and we're gonna lay off. I can't do it.
Without Booker, though, right?
Um, Booker was out of both of those games, but Beal played in
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah.
So it's not like was the only scorer in the second game. I think he's gonna get a ton of shots tonight again. I actually started with I put a little parlay together just because of the uncertainty around Booker, and if Booker goes off, maybe Durant gets less volume, but his uh his straight line is 28.5 points. I think he can get it still maybe for 27.5. No, it's up to 28.5 everywhere. I liked him at 25 points and 6 rebounds. Um he has and what I did is I looked at the filters with when he played with Booker and 40 plus minutes. Okay. So 40
Okay.
plus minutes seems like a lot, but in the playoffs last year, he averaged 42.3 minutes. So
Mhm.
Durant is not going to come out of this game. Like he's going to be, 2 minutes out and then back in. So if we just look, at those. I'll save the time, but he's got a 12 for 12 hit rate on 6 rebounds when he plays 40 plus minutes with Booker, and he's got an 11 for 12 hit rate when he plays 40 minutes with Booker for 25 plus points. So put those two together: 6 rebounds, 25 points, minus 115. He's crushed both of those stats in each of the games against the Lakers. I think it's a nice, safe way to play this one. Especially if we think Booker's going to go off. You like that?
I do like that quite a bit. Yeah, I'm into that. Nice work. I like that.
I mean, look at there's no filters on right now. He's had 25 points in what is that, like 15 straight games, like every game but
Yeah,
the first game of the season. So the
yeah,
points are pretty good. And if we just look at the rebounds, the rebounds are more up and down, but I'm just going more on the matchup against the Lakers. He really dominated rebounds, 11 in one game and 9 in the other. So, all right.
yeah. We got a message here from Cree Santana 53 on YouTube. I believe he's probably speaking about Grayson Allen. He said, "Doesn't this only hit when Booker is out?" Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
he's
did kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 3 for 9 this season in games with Booker. But you have to, nice output against the Lakers, 4 straight against the Lakers, 9 and 6 against the Lakers this season. Granted, yes, Booker was out in those games. So, yeah, definitely something to worry about a little bit. At 3, though, he's cleared in, I think, 6 of 9. So, like we just mentioned, if you wanted to bring it down to 3 rebounds and maybe put it with Nurkic 3 assists, that could be a nice way to get in on that. Yeah, get in on Allen here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not loving the 3.5 as much tonight. So if I was going to play it, I'd probably alt it down. You will pay a lot of juice to alt something from 4 down to 3, but um, I think we gave out enough plays. You can probably find something else to put it with. So, but yes, remember that for the future as well when Booker's out again, which he likely will be, next week. You can definitely hammer Grayson Allen rebounds.
Yeah.
All right,
Another,
what else?
we got a message here from Brandon Wong on X. Katie over 35.5 PR.
That's intriguing for
We'll
a
pull
third
that
game.
up and take a look.
All right, let's look at the PR. Let's just start by setting the filter on props like cash to 40 plus minutes. So if you look at his minutes this season, he's only played 36.6 minutes, which is a lot, especially for a
Hmm.
guy who's like got a career of injuries. But they're pushing him, and like I said, last playoffs he played 42.3 minutes. So I think he's almost a guarantee tonight to go 40 minutes, as long as this isn't a blowout. So let's just look at what he's done, in games where he's played 40 plus minutes. What was this? The
35 and a half. You could bring it down one.
35.5. Yeah, so you get a much different hit rate at 35.5. There we go. Yeah, looks pretty good. And I mean, he cleared that in just points alone in the last two matchups with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Let's add the Booker filter in here as well, just to kind of see what happens when Booker's on the floor, and then that'll make our final conclusion. Right. So again, they've played 12 games together. When Durant has played 40 plus minutes, and you've got a 9 out of 12 hit rate, so 75% hit rate.
Pretty
And
good.
just look at the last four, which were the playoffs last year, but 48, 47, 37, 47. So I think it's a good play. I personally like the parlay I put together better. 6 rebounds, 25 points.
Yeah.
But this does definitely give you a lot of flexibility, especially considering he's cleared this on points alone last time. So I think it's a good play. Good call out. All right.
All right.
Let's move to the Lakers side. What do you like on the Lakers side?
You're going to be surprised here. I'm going with D'Lo. 13 and a half points, minus 130 on DK. He's cleared this in 6 straight games against the Suns, averaging 20 points per game in his last 6 games against the Suns. So
Wow.
hard to argue with that. It's 13 and a half.
Yeah,
Most books. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's cleared this in his last 4 games on 2 days rest at home with big outputs: 17, 26, 25, and 27. And you have some nice comps here. Reggie Jackson just played the Suns, had 20 points. Quickly 18. Derrick Rose 17. Colin Sexton 18 and 14. Mike Conley 14. So I'm not picking your SGAs and whatnot. These are good comps for Russell here. And you can't argue with the success. I hear you, Black Bleach. D'Lo is he flirts with our ban list, especially mine, all the time. Yeah, this is a little bit out of the ordinary for me here, but you can't argue with data here. It's just overwhelming.
Yeah, he gave us a plus 500. Was it plus 500, plus 900? I don't even remember. But we crushed on him the other day, and that helped him get off the ban list for sure. So
he got a reprieve for a little
got a
bit with that
reprieve.
one. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean this is his one game against the Lakers last season when he had 2 days rest.
The Suns. Yeah.
Sorry, against the Suns when he had 2 days rest. So 26 points, pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who else do you like?
That's all I had.
That's all right. That's pretty good. All right. So the play I was talking about up front, we were on this like almost every playoff game last year.
Yep.
And that was LeBron RA. So if you look, his hit rate for 14.5 RA, which is minus 110 on DK when I got it earlier. He's only hit this in 45% of games this season, so 9 for 20. But he's averaging 33.6 minutes so far this season. And I think, in the playoffs last year, he averaged closer to 39 minutes. So I think his minutes are going to be up today. I actually think of all the guys who are playing this game, LeBron is probably going to take this game the most serious, because if you think about his career and his resume, right? He doesn't need a single other thing to justify himself for the Hall of Fame, or even be in the conversation of best ever, but which I know is a very sensitive topic last time we brought that up. But we're not saying if he's best ever or whatever, but my point is he's got everything on his belt, but he doesn't have an in-season tournament
to win the first in-season tournament. Yeah, man.
Right. So as insignificant as this is compared to everything else he's done in his career, LeBron kind of wants this. So I think he's and I think it shows by the fact that they were one of the few teams that went undefeated in the group play. Right. They went 4-0. I think it was 4-0 going into this round. So I think he's going to turn it up. I think he's going to play some big minutes. If we just filter this to look at the playoff games last year, just to kind of show you what we were playing consistently. There it is.
Weren't we parlaying the rebounds and assists together?
We did lots of stuff with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at his last 7 of 8 playoff games last year, or he was just on fire. 18, 21, 19, 19, 19. And then if we just look at this season, I kind of threw these stats out earlier, but if we look at the season against Phoenix, he's put up 2 consecutive games of 17 RA. So at minus 110, I think 15 RA is great, and I think it gives you the flexibility if he has a big rebound game or a big assist game. I didn't see what the odds are, but I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron has a triple double tonight as well. All right, so you heard it here.
There we go. You heard it here.
All right, so if anybody has that in front of them or has already placed that bet, go ahead and throw that in the chat. But I think that's a nice.
I'd love to know what the odds on the Halliburton triple double were last night.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't usually get anywhere near the rebounds.
No, he had the rebounds way before the assists too.
Yeah, he was just incredible. So he's so amazing. All right, I think that's all my picks. You got anything else?
We got a question here. Another one from Gabe on YouTube. He said FanDuel has a boost for Dame, Brunson, and Randall, all to make 2 threes at plus 170. Wants to know our thoughts.
It's a boost, so I'd probably just lay off of it.
Yeah, that was my first thought too.
Because it's a 3-leg boost. So that usually means, my experience with these boosts, it usually means 2 of them are a no-brainer, and there's a third one that looks like a no-brainer and isn't a no-brainer. So
Julius Randle would be the one on that one.
Yeah.
Black Bleach says always fade the boost. Yes, agreed.
Always fade the boost. So what that probably tells you is just fade Randall's 3-pointers tonight, because I think Brunson will get there for sure. Let's just look at what was it, 3-pointers?
Yeah.
And let's look at Randall. Yeah, I mean, there you go. he's 0 for 4 in his last matchups against Milwaukee. So I think
as Brook Lopez, yeah,
Brook Lopez is probably coming out and blocking his threes. Yep. So I think Randall's the leg that kills that. So I would even go under Randall 2 threes for a small play. Make your own parlay and send it back to the books and see what they think about that.
There you go.
Any other questions we got on?
Gabe also just called out LeBron triple double plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000. I like.
So you get LeBron triple double and Brunson 40 points. You put those 2 together. Let's go.
We're
2 plus 1,000s.
I think we got to lock in a small little bet on that one.
Yeah, that might. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. I think that does it. Lots of picks for these 2 games. 20 or so picks here, which is what we had last night, and went 17-3. So let's see. Knock on wood. Let's see if we can repeat that. But we'll definitely get a few of these up on X. Thanks everyone for joining. Great questions. We love the interaction here. Makes the show so much better. So thank you. Nice work, and let's enjoy the games, and let's all make some money tonight.